Welcome back.
Hello again.
That's a familiar voice.
Who is that? Who?
Dominique?
It just might be.
Is that you?
I think that's what they tell me.
Oh, wow.
That's what they call me.
It's a pleasure.
Sometimes. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
It has been a while.
Timing's been rough.
It has been so rough. I have been in Disney World.
You were living it up.
And what else happened? Did I just die?
No, I had a medical emergency.
You just died.
I died. And then had a depressing-ass podcast. Sorry for that, guys.
Hey, you gotta... Someone out there is right there with you. That's the point. So...
Yeah. We all suffer.
We all suffer. That should just be like a universal anthem. Mm-hmm. That would unite like the world together. I think if we just all got together and just chanted that.
Changing the name of the podcast. Instead of figuring it out, it's We All Suffer with Dana and Dominique.
Suffering it out. Yeah. Getting through this existence.
We're in it together.
We're all in this. Please don't sue us, Disney.
But Dominique, okay, you were in Disney World.
I was in Disney.
Tell me about it.
Oh my god, Disney truly is the most magical place on Earth. I thought the motto used to be the happiest place on Earth.
Isn't it?
No, it's the most magical place on Earth.
What's the happiest place on Earth?
Escalator World.
Where is that? And I want to go. I'm losing my voice. What's happening?
I don't. Where did it go? It was just there. No. I can't talk. Jabberish. Need to get back the fuck on track. Escalator World.
Yes.
Escalator World was the pre-stop before Disney World. It
was a real thing?
Oh, no.
Oh.
Not at all.
Oh.
Have you ever seen that Fairly Odd Parents episode?
Oh!
We're going to Escalator World!
Dude, I can't retain any details of children's television.
That's, I think, what makes up at least 40% of my limited memory space.
Like, I can I'll understand references from, SpongeBob and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
But, Fairly Odd Parents and, I can't.
Can we have a moment of silence for Stephen Hillenburg? You'll live on forever, my friend.
I mean, yeah, he's made 500 episodes of SpongeBob.
Yeah, he's pretty eternal.
Yeah, that's also... I wish I knew the secrets of why that was created.
Oh, okay, so ready?
Oh, okay. Tea time!
He walked up into some TV producer's office, toting a fish tank with him. And just like an aquarium.
I'm on acid. Please call an ambulance.
Close. He pulls up this fucking aquarium tank up into these TV producers, and it's all decorated as a normal aquarium fish tank would be. I can't decide whether I want to say aquarium or fish tank. I'm just gonna say fish tank.
Okay.
And he plops this figurine of Sponge Boy into the middle of the aquarium, just plunges it in, and he's like, "This is the star of your new television show." And the rest is yellow, spongy, and porous.
Yeah, it was the 90s, so...
Anything went.
Anything went. Alright, but...
How are you doing, Dana?
Oh, I'm good.
You're good?
I mean, I'm hanging in there. I'm doing better than I was last week. Let's put it that way.
Improvements are good?
Yeah, we're getting there. I had a misfortunate job opportunity mishap.
Totally not your fucking fault. Can we just...
I'm not gonna go, super into it, but, it was rude, and I'm sad. You
were promised a job.
I was, robbed of a job. She, revoked the position. She was just like, this girl isn't leaving, so we don't need you. Even though she gave me all the papers and all that stuff.
Some bullshit.
I mean, she had no legal obligation yet, so it was like, whatever.
I'd be real mad.
It's no biggie. It happens. Everything happens for a reason. There's better things happening for me.
Exactly. That just might not have been the place for you in the long run.
I have cosmic feelings that things are in the works.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
Just put your faith out there in the universe and
Yeah.
shit. The universe balances itself out. Always.
Yeah.
That's what I found.
Also, the day we're recording this is a Wednesday, and Wednesdays are my worst days.
Are they?
Yeah.
What are my... I have terrible Tuesdays.
Really?
Yes.
Mondays are really good for me. Sundays are my best day.
Thursdays are my best day.
Really? I wonder if that's your zodiac day.
It actually is.
Really?
It's actually, I'm pretty sure, associated with
I wonder what
Jupiter in
mine
some way. I
is.
really think you should look it up because...
I'm going to right now.
All right.
We're straying a lot off of our goal for today, but we're going to get there in a second.
We always get there. You can always count on us to eventually get there. That's my philosophy.
How would I look it up? Taurus day of the week?
Honestly, yeah. I've been really into numerology lately.
Me too.
Kind of branching off of like the zodiac kind of thing.
We should talk about that next week.
We definitely should. It's very interesting. Because, you know, obviously, I don't know if 0 is included in numerology.
No, it's 1 through 9, 11, and 22. Sometimes 33, but it's...
Why 11 and 22?
The 11 and 22 are master numbers.
What the fuck?
Yeah. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it next week. I went on like a 2-hour like deep dive of like numerology and repeating numbers and stuff like that because I had an instance at like 4:44 one day where it was just like I was like, this moment feels like it means something, and then I looked at the clock and I was like 4:44. What does 444 mean? And then I googled it, and then I was looking up at all of them, and I was like, this is crazy. Oh my god, I believe in all of this.
It's crazy. I feel like there's, like, honestly a truth to numbers. Numbers kind of, compose everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I love numbers.
Numbers are tight. I do like them.
Don't like math, but I like numbers.
I liked algebra. Not so much the geometry. When you have me, like, trying to, like, have to write proofs about why something is the way it is, that's where you lose me.
Yeah, I'm good.
I really don't like triangles anymore, either.
I love triangles.
I didn't really think much of them
Just
before,
'cause they
but...
all fit together very nicely.
They do. You can make a fucking circle out of triangles.
Oh, that makes me wet.
My foot's, like, painfully asleep.
Oh my god, I'm
You
sorry.
know when it's not like a dull buzz, but it's like a sharp, like...
Why can't I find what day I am?
I don't know. Hold on.
What is Taurus's best day of the week?
No, what planet is Taurus ruled by?
Saturn, I think?
Taurus ruling planet is Venus. Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
That's sexy. Okay, Venus,
Yeah.
day of the week.
Happens.
Zodiac. I will find it for you.
Okay. While you find that, I'm going to explain what we're doing today. So... Friday. Interesting.
Yep. Friday is Venus day. Thursday is Jupiter day. Tuesday is actually Mars day. So look, if you were interested, I'd look to your chart to see what Mars placements there are.
Alright, I'll reference back. We'll get back to you next week. Okay, so this week.
This week we have something special planned.
We have another, like, kind of little game.
Yeah, we've discovered we like the games.
Yeah. We're still finding our footing, and we're, like, figuring out what we like, what we don't like to do. And this is fun for us. It's quick. It keeps the topic, like, changing and goofy.
We don't even know where we're going to go with this.
Honestly, no.
But we always get there.
Blind leading the blind. So, this week, we are going to be picking from three genres of writing prompts. And then from those writing prompts, whatever genre we pick, we have 3 other prompts that we are going to choose one of. Does that make sense?
I think.
Can you describe it better?
I think, okay, so what we got for you lovely folk, we got story prompts. We got story prompts that we're going to pick sort of randomly, and we're going to go tit for tat on who goes first. Based on the story prompt, we're going to go on for 45 seconds, try to, give you a little story time, and then once those 45 seconds are up, the other person has to complete what the other person was going off of, and vice versa.
And we'll probably do, 2 rounds of it?
We'll probably go back and forth 3 times for a story.
Yeah, that feels right.
That feels right.
Yeah.
We're figuring it out.
Of 3.
I like 3s.
I like 3s too.
3, 2,
1, go. Okay, so who's gonna go first?
Nose goes.
Oh, okay. Oh, sure.
I am poking my nose.
Okay, so here you go.
Okay.
So I'm gonna roll the dice.
Rolling the die.
And then whatever number it lands on, Dominique is going to tell me what genre we're picking from. Ooh. Roll that die. Come on.
3. Right? No? You're shaking it. Okay.
3.
3 is the number.
Okay. 3.
3 is the number of the hour, guys. Horror.
Horror. All right.
So.
And now I have to pick between a number 1 through 3.
Do it. Are we staying with 3s? Or are we going with 1 or 2?
I don't know. I kind of want to switch up on you.
Ooh, you're fucking already? I'm going to expect a lot of that this episode. A lot of switching.
I'm going to go 1.
Ooh. Okay. The prompt is as follows. Main character and couple of friends take a boat trip to a tiny, vacant, off-limits island for a night of celebration. When the sun goes down, they realize just how occupied the island is. Ellipses. There's a reason it's off-limits. 45 seconds on the clock.
I have it.
Okay.
Hang on. I have to read it one more time.
She has to absorb.
I have to. Wait, what is it? Horror?
Horror numero uno. And we are on numero, trece.
Oh my god! I totally forgot!
Fucking up our intro there. We'll just cut that out and bring it to the front. But probably not.
No.
No, you gotta work to know what episode number this is. It'll also say it in the title.
Yeah,
but you'll also have to listen for a good 10 minutes just to be sure.
Yeah, and, now you know.
Now
okay,
you know.
So... Oh, gosh.
Oh, gorsh. Are you feeling it, Miss Dana Renee?
Oh, I'm feeling it, Mr. Carl. God, okay, I haven't, written creatively in a very long time, so this is... Okay.
Fuck it.
Whew. Okay. I'm scared.
Do you want me to start?
No, it's okay.
Okay. You got this, bitch.
I mean, it's only 45 seconds.
It's only 45 seconds. Just, tell a story about a group of idiots.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so Jack, Dan, and Phil all landed on the island, and it was pitch black out. It had to have been 3 o'clock in the morning, Jack thought. And so Jack, Dan, and Phil all stumble out of the boat, and they're just, looking around. And then they find a spot where they can lay down. And then they lay down, they make a bed with the sand and the leaves around them. And then once they finally fall asleep, they start hearing sounds.
Okay.
Wait, I can't. I
Flip it. Okay. So, Jack, Dan, and Phil are in their bed of leaves, and they awaken to the sound of rustling in the distance. Dan awakes first, but being the more meek one of the group, he nudges awake Jack, who is the more burly one, to go check out the noise. Jack, groggily, timidly, kind of hesitantly, walks off to go check. But, calls Dan and Phil a pussy behind his shoulders in the meantime. He goes off into the woods. 5 minutes pass. 10 minutes pass. 15 minutes pass. All noises have ceased.
Dude, where's Jack? Said Phil. After an hour of him being gone, the sun peeking over the horizon. I don't know, dude. He's probably taking a shit somewhere. Said Dan. Forgot his name for a second. And then they hear a scream. Ooh, I peeked that shit.
The walls just reverberated.
Yeah, I know.
Yo, what the fuck was that? Goes Dan. Now remember, Dan is the meek one of the group, I think. Or Phil. We could just both call Dan and Phil pussies at this point.
Yeah, pussy 1 and pussy 2.
But the sound did not match the sound of Jack's voice. That was not his scream. The scream was high-pitched and shrill, almost that of a child or a woman. Dan and Phil decide to investigate because Jack is the fucking brawn of the group, and if they don't have Jack, they got Jack shit. So they go off into the woods. It's around 5 in the morning at this point. The sun has not begun to rise. They're equipped with a flashlight, and the batteries are getting lower and lower.
Their battery finally dies. They've been walking for hours, and they haven't found Jack. The sun's finally coming up. Dan looks at Phil and sighs, and he's like, man, I think he's gone. We should just go back to the boat. I don't know what else we can do. Phil agrees with him, and he's like, it's just a lost cause, We gotta start heading home. And they turn around. As they start walking back, they hear walking behind them. Leaves crunching. Sand shifting.
Ooh, it's getting fucking... Dan and Phil hear this behind them, and they keep checking behind them. It's not quite bright enough out to make much of anything, but they could swear that they see movement, so they pick up the pace. They're running at this point, and the sounds behind them are only getting closer. They emerge from the forest onto the sand where their bed was. They run back to the boat, only to find that the motor has been destroyed. Dan and Phil are in a fucking frenzy at this point. They don't know what to do, where to go, who to turn to. And that's when they see it.
Damn it. Can't just pause you. Damn, okay. There was a tribe of people. I thought no one was here. This is such a remote island. I don't understand. Said Phil. So they run into the water and start swimming away. Trying to, at least. And then the tribe starts running after them with their spears. And...
Alright, this is the last one. Dan and Phil are screaming And that's not helping because they're beginning to tread water. Their open mouths are becoming full of seawater, and they feel like they're almost drowning. And that's when they see it in the distance. Lights. Another boat. They call to it. The boat comes, and it gets them to safety. As they're voyaging away, they look back, and they see the tribe in the distance. They see them with their stakes and pitchforks still in the air, with smoke rising from the campfire that they had built. And on one of the spears, you could see it. Jack's head.
Nice!
Word!
Alright, your turn to roll the dice.
Okay.
This is so much harder than I thought it would be.
It's interesting, though.
It's very interesting.
It's good to develop our verbal storytelling.
I just don't have enough time to, like, think about how I want to say it.
Oh, don't get me wrong. These might be horror prompts. It's probably not going to be scary.
No, of course
But
not.
that's the idea. Okay. 1.
Mystery.
2.
The book she's reading seems to be telling the story of her own life, though she doesn't think she has ever met the author.
Sadie has always been a book nerd, of sorts. Whatever she could get her hands on, literary-wise, she would gobble up within a day. She went to her, she was very well known at her local library, to the point where every librarian knew her name, and none of them made her use a card. Because they knew Sadie would be good on her word. She would always return her books. Sadie went to the library one day, as she had faithfully done for years. She was looking for something new to read. She was skimming and skimming the aisles, and it just had seemed that she had read nearly everything. She wanted something new.
So, she browsed aisles that she had never really been down before. The true life aisle. The nonfiction, the autobiographies, the biographies. She wanted a little spice of someone else's life for a change, someone else's actual life for a change. She spotted this book on the shelf with a light pink cover and delicate flowers and gold writing.
She reached out and grazed the spine of the book with her fingertips. She grasped onto the book and pulled it out. There was no writing on the book. There was no author name. The only thing that the book had said, written in gold letters, in cursive, was Sadie. Well, Sadie had just thought that, this was just meant to be. She didn't even have any description to go off of. It was just words and her name, oddly enough. So she walked out with the book, not needing to have checked it out because the librarians knew that she was good on her word.
And she walked down to the local coffee shop and cracked it open. She ordered a vanilla latte and a chocolate chip muffin and started reading the first couple pages of the book. It started off very relatable and very close to home. But the farther she got and the more muffins she ordered, she realized that this was too parallel to her own life. And the details were shockingly similar. Like how her brother and her would hang out during thunderstorms.
It would go on to describe elaborately family vacations, and all of that was fine and well, and the things that Sadie could pass off as weird, odd serendipitous coincidence, but the book went on further to describe moments that she had shared with no one other than herself. It described the time that she cried for 5 hours over Billy, who had stood her up on the night of the prom. It had gone on to describe those moments where she would look at herself in the mirror and have long, stern talks with herself about her life.
And so she realized she needs to figure out what's going on here. So she closed the book and went straight back to the library, demanding to know where this book came from. She marched her little butt into the library and slammed her fist on the desk and asked for Mary, the librarian. She came over and she said, "Hey, sweetheart, how are you doing?" And Sadie was like, "Mary, where did this book come from? I love it. I want to know more about the author."
Mary looked down at the book that she was presenting, grabbed it by its light pink cover and back, and brought it up to her face, really close, because she had to squint because she had librarian eyesight. And she was like, "My dear, this doesn't seem to be a book." And she opened it, and she flipped through the pages. And then she said, "There appears to be nothing inside. This seems to be a journal. A blank journal, but we do not sell those here. Are you sure that you got this book from this library?"
How many rounds did we go?
I don't know.
'Cause damn.
Is that a good ending?
Yeah.
You just ended there.
We really have to keep track of how many rounds.
I get caught up.
I know. Okay, my turn to roll the dice. Okay. 6.
Perfect. Dystopian / fantasy.
2. No. No. My heart says 3.
Good, because the title, no, the first 3 words are like a title to one of my favorite Run the Jewels song.
Really?
Legend has it.
Oh.
So this is meant to be.
Nice.
Shout out to Run the Jewels, I love you. Legend has it, if you stand in front of a mirror holding a cup and a candle, you can jump between dimensions.
Okay.
Okay?
Alright.
Alright?
Okay, yeah.
And away we go.
Katie's older brother had always told her these silly lies about ghosts and the other worlds and other dimensions and how he can talk to them. But Katie never believed it until one day he told her about the cup and the mirror. And so she tried it. She decided that she was going to see what all of the hubbub was about the other dimensions, and why Zachary loved being in the other dimensions so dang much. So Katie decided at midnight she was going to try it.
Katie walked dutifully into her bathroom, sporting nothing other than her nightgown. That got weirdly sexual.
Yeah.
Fuck. I meant to say, donning nothing other than a cup and a candle and high hopes. And skepticism, but high hopes. She stood in front of the mirror. She just stood there. She didn't know she had to light the candle or fill the cup with anything. So
She started the ritual by filling her cup with warm water and then lighting the candle with a match, not a lighter. And she stood in the mirror of her room, hanging on the back of her door. She was the only one home. It was a Saturday night, so her parents were out at the bar, and her brother was somewhere. She decided, okay, now's the time. She took a deep breath, turned off the lights, and stood in front of the mirror. She held the cup and the cup and the candle right above each other.
And then she waited. She waited and waited, and nothing seemed to be happening. She figured at this point her brother was full of shit. And she went to blow out the candle until something in the mirror caught her eye. It started as a black speck at first that Katie reached up to try to smudge away with her thumb. But it didn't go away. In fact, the complete opposite started happening, and the black speck slowly turned into a black dot, slowly turned into a black hole, slowly turned into this Katie-sized portal in her mirror.
She reached out to see if it was just her eyes and not the mirror actually opening up. But her hand went right through it, and her body hit the frame. Katie ran backwards and didn't know what the fuck to do anymore. The candle fell to the ground, but was put out by the cup of water spilling over. She got intrigued and walked forward, closer to the mirror, looking inside, checking the corners, the crevices of the black hole.
None of her brother's stories had ever turned out true before. Katie didn't know what she was doing. She thought she was dreaming, or her brother was pulling some kind of trick. And then she felt it. Some kind of gravitational pull pulling her closer and closer to the mirror until she went to the other side. All of a sudden, she was suspended in this area of complete blackness. She could see nothing. She didn't really feel anything. It was as if all of her senses had been eliminated. Slowly but surely, she felt
a warm sensation coming across her body. It felt like someone was holding her, like she was being cradled, and it felt safe enough to fall asleep. So she closed her eyes. And sometime later, she doesn't really know, but she opened her eyes to the brightest light and the softest grass. She was in, well, she doesn't even know. We don't know. She can't recall, but when Katie woke up, she was surrounded by beautiful people.
people, so Katie had thought, because that was the only word in her vocabulary that really could make sense of what she was seeing. They were beautiful humanoids, 7 feet tall, long orange hair, green skin. The complexion was as smooth as butter. They asked her what she was doing here. Katie didn't even know herself. They could tell that she had come a long way and that she wanted to get back home. So they told her to close her eyes and drift off into a slumber once again.
Nice.
And then Katie woke up, and we don't know if it was a dream Or if it actually happened.
And now Katie hates her brother. Next! Okay. Because I have to roll, right?
No, you rolled last time.
No, I read to you.
No, because you picked Legend. Remember, because I was like, Legend has it, and that's was the name of Jules.
Right. Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
5.
Ooh, okay. Dystopian and fantasy. 1, 2, or 3.
I'm gonna let you choose. What would be the better story, 1 or 2?
Oh, okay. I think 1.
Read it to me.
A character finds an odd-looking egg in the forest. When they take it home, they never could have predicted what was inside it. Brown chicken, brown cow.
The family had taken their trip just like they had done every single year. Since their youngest was born. Their oldest was born. They had 3 kids now. And they're still a mom and dad all happy together. So there's 5 of them in total. They were hiking. They were that's how you know it's a story. They were taking a walk through a trail that they had come to know and love so well. So well that their footprints were practically embedded into the soil. When they came across this patch of grass that seemed arranged in some kind of nest-like formation.
The second youngest, Charles, wandered towards it, and his mother, Cynthia, stopped him. And the
It's hard.
Oh my god, it's so hard. Okay. And his mother, Cynthia, stopped him. Charles, what are you doing? You don't know what's in there? But he wandered a little closer. Mom, it's an egg, he exclaimed. And she was like, honey, we're not taking it. Let's go. Leave it alone. That's a live creature.
The middle child was examining the egg closely. He was a bit of an animal nerd. So he knew the forest pretty well and the creatures that lied inside. And just knew that this egg couldn't have possibly come from any creature that was documented as being a habitant of that forest. The egg was too big. It was about the size of a basketball, only ovular, and it was kind of purple with speckled blue. He was like, Ma.
He was like, Ma, it's so pretty though, and it's not from around here. We have to take it home, or at least take it to a shelter. And she said, no, Charles, let's go. We have to go back to the campsite. Your father is cooking dinner. So Charles looks back at the egg and sighs, and he follows his mother back to the campsite. But later on in the night, after his mother fell asleep, he woke up, and he just knew he had to get that egg. So he snuck out of the tent. He put on his little glasses and his sweatshirt.
And he marched triumphantly over to the trail that they had taken before. Suddenly he felt a hand on his shoulder, and he whirled around expecting to see the face of his angry mother. Instead, it was his older brother. And he said, I know you're going back there for that egg. And I can't let you go alone, and I want the egg too. So they adventured back into the depths of the forest. And they weren't sure that they were going to find anything anyway because neither of them had remembered to bring flashlights. Suddenly they saw this luminous glow in the distance. They walked closer towards it.
James, the oldest, looked at Charles. James Charles, I did not mean to do that. Hang on, I gotta pause it. Okay. James looked at Charles. James, the oldest, looked at Charles. And he was like, is that it over there? I don't remember it glistening. Why would it be glistening? It's nighttime, Charles said. And so the curious boys walked a little closer. They crept because they heard some sounds the closer they got. Pecking, scratching. They didn't know what type of animal it could be. But suddenly it stopped and the glow was gone.
Not really sure of what they had seen or whether or not to believe it, the oldest picked up the egg, James. He picked up the egg and he felt the warmth of it. He was not entirely convinced that it was a real egg with a real creature inside of it just because of how strange it looked. They didn't really know what else to do with it. The egg was in the same place. No other animal seemed to have come back for it. It was alone. So they wrapped it up in a blanket and stuffed it into the backpack that they had brought with them for along the way. They went back to the campsite and finished out their trip as normal. They headed back home, loaded up the van.
On the van ride home, James and Charles sat in the back seat of the van, closer to the trunk, where the backpack was so they can keep an eye on it in case anything is to happen. On the ride home, James fell asleep, but Charles was awake, and he heard cracking. He didn't know what was happening, so he dove behind to open up the bag to make sure that the egg wasn't cracked. James woke up to this, and Charles looked at him and said, "Man, it's hatching. What are we gonna do?"
"Everything all right back there?" asked Dad from the driver's seat. "Yeah," James said, flustered, not really sure how to handle the situation at hand. I think just some bug spray just like exploded in my bag or something. It's no biggie, Pops. I'll take care of it. So James and Charles are scrambling, trying to figure out what the fuck to do. They're scrambled as eggs. And suddenly the egg starts cracking, breaking through. Piece by piece, the egg starts falling apart from itself. And before they knew it, Charles saw not a pair, but a single beady eye
peeking out from the crack in the egg. He decided to just shove it back in the backpack and zip it up until they got home. He left a little air hole so it could breathe. But what else was he going to do? He had 20 more minutes left, and that was going to be a disaster. Once they got home, James and Charles ran immediately into the bathroom and locked themselves in. They didn't know what to do, but they decided to open up the backpack and hope for the best. James slowly unzipped the backpack while Charles held a pillowcase open.
Expecting the creature to jump out and for them to have to capture it in some way, he held the pillowcase open in preparation. "Hey, what's the big idea?" they hear from inside of the backpack. Not even 5 minutes into this world and you're just gonna lock a guy up with nothing but a tiny hair.
Oh my god.
Talk about a shitty welcome. You don't know anything about hospitality. I want my ma.
And scene. Phenomenal. We're at 46 minutes.
How are you feeling, Dana?
Oh man, I am doing okay.
I think.
We should wrap it up.
Yes. I also think we told brilliant tales.
We did.
Of bravery and eggs
And bad friendship. They just let Jack go like that.
Just let him get beheaded.
No, fucking assholes.
I don't even know if it was like a cannibalistic tribe or they just beheaded
Probably an intruder.
an intruder. What did they do? Do you think I don't think tribes would be wasteful enough just to not do anything with the body.
I mean,
Not like speaking to
You
all
could use
tribes,
it
of
as
course, but like cannibalistic
compost.
ones specifically.
you could use compost.
You can.
Cut him up.
It was really like happy story disguised as a horror story because in the end Jack died as he lived.
On the edge.
On the edge. Ah,
This was a good week.
this was a good week. I had fun.
I had fun too. And Dominique, I have missed your presence on this podcast so very much.
I've just missed your fucking presence.
I know, honestly.
Oh
we
my
are starved of it. We have only been hanging out to do the podcast lately because it's like all our schedules can like handle.
Oh, fucking Jesus Christ.
I know.
Unfortunately, we're at a point in our lives where our schedules seem to be like the opposite
Oh my god.
of each other.
Well, soon they're gonna be like, hopefully soon, they're gonna be like pretty on the same page.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I usually get off like around like 6.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And then like your free days are usually like weekends. And then those are my free days most of the time. I'm like, I have to do all of my shit.
that's the thing about like, that's why I don't understand jobs where you only have like one day off a week. Because it's like, okay, this one day off should be, like, I feel like you should be entitled to at least one leisure day a week.
Yeah.
Where you just don't have the obligation to do anything. Because I feel like, you know, obviously chores are a form of work that you don't get paid for.
Yeah.
And it's, in some cases, like, going out and doing something is exhausting. So you just need time to fucking recuperate.
Yeah, dude.
You know? Yeah. But, you know, work life in America isn't top notch.
Yeah, but you know what? We're trying to rest. We're doing it.
We'll chill.
We're trying.
We're trying. we'll honestly, I think we should have a day where that's literally what we do.
Just chill.
We just, honestly, in pajamas,
Down.
I'll get a bottle of wine because I'm turning 21 on Saturday. Whoa!
Down.
And
Yeah, happy birthday, Dominique.
thanks, bitch.
Oh my god. I get to give Dominique her Christmas presents and her birthday presents on her birthday.
I hate you so much.
And
I
I'm
love you.
so excited. I literally have them right in the corner. And I can't wait to like, I want to give them to you right now because I'm just like,
Dana's the type of person where she loves to give gifts over
Yes, I
receiving them. Like, she
do.
gets a genuine, like, joy out of it.
Yeah, it's
And
how to
it's-
give love.
It's the sweetest thing.
Oh my god, thanks. Okay, we gotta wrap this up.
We gotta wrap it up like a
Tangent,
Christmas
tangent.
present
Oh, cute.
slash birthday present
Get cute.
slash egg in a blanket.
Cracking and hatching and then talking like a New York male.
I had Mike Wazowski in my head for some reason.
Yeah, you said one eye and then you opened with that and I was just like, god damn it. Alright, Dominique, I have had an amazing week and I'm glad that you are back in the swing of things.
Me too. I'm glad to be back. I'm feeling the energy.
Yeah.
It's great.
Where can they find you on social media?
If y'all want to find me on social media, you can direct yourselves to either the Twitters or the Instagrams and find me at, you know, little at sign guy, Dommy_Darko. DOMMY_DARKO. DARK and the number 0.
Yes! And you can find me on social media, on Twitter at DanaRenee_ and on Instagram at DanaRenee__.
Make no mistake, there are 2 underscores.
So that's DanaRenee_ and DanaRenee_ DANARENEE_.
Find us, follow us, interact with us.
Tell us what you want to hear. I want to know your thoughts.
I want to know what your favorite story as a kid was growing up.
What? Yeah. Like,
did you have a favorite story growing up?
Well, what do you mean by story?
I'll rephrase. Did you have a favorite book growing up?
I don't remember what it was called. I think about it all the time, but I can't remember what it was called. It was like a book series.
Okay.
It was like The Dragon in the Library or something like that.
Okay.
And they were like these really, really creative books. And it was just like this series of this dragon and this little girl like going on little adventures.
Oh, that sounds so cute.
They were so cute, and they were my favorite books, and I can't remember what they're called. I have to ask my mom and like hit you next week with it, but those are my favorite childhood books.
I think my favorite childhood book was Goodnight Moon.
Oh my gosh, I don't remember. I remember that book, but I don't remember that book. You know what I mean?
I loved it so much because I think it was told in a rhyme, and I was always a sucker for rhyme, but if I'm wrong about the rhyming thing, it's because in every page there was a little mouse.
Mm-hmm.
And, every illustration of the page was the same. It was the same room, but the lighting would change, and little things would change. And I loved finding the mouse on every page.
Aw, cute.
Yeah, that's my
little
thing.
things.
Yeah.
All
right, guys.
Well, we will talk to you next week.
Have a lovely week.
Have a great week.
Be beautiful. Stay beautiful.
Stay amazing and do amazing.
Mwah!
We love you and goodbye.